Fine, just send her the money. What do you mean? She needs it. You know she's struggling right now. Didn't you already give her most of your paycheck? I don't think it's needed. You can be so heartless sometimes. My name is Kelly and I'm 32 years old. I work at a tax accountant's office. My husband Luis is 2 years younger than me, and we met at the bar where he works. We connected through our jobs, became friends, and after a year of dating, we got married. My husband's upbringing was worlds apart from mine. He grew up in an institution and never knew his father. As a child, he lived with his mother and grandmother in his grandmother's home. Then one day his mother vanished, and a year later, his grandmother passed away, leaving him completely alone. From the age of 10, he was raised in an institution. He doesn't like to talk much about his childhood, and I've never wanted to pressure him, so I've never asked for details. When we decided to marry, my parents questioned whether I was comfortable with our different backgrounds. I assured them that I loved him and didn't see it as an issue, which was true, though I wasn't entirely certain deep down. My husband is quiet, but he's also incredibly caring and gentle. I believed we could support each other through anything. But sadly, 2 years into our marriage, things began to unravel. It all began when my mother-in-law suddenly reappeared in our lives. She just showed up out of nowhere, and it turned into an emotional reunion. My husband and his mother were both sobbing dramatically. Yet as I watched them crying together at our apartment entrance, I felt nothing. Instead, I couldn't shake the feeling that she was a rather selfish mother. "I'm so sorry," she said. "It's been so long. I was dealing with some financial issues and didn't want to drag you into it. I've been searching for you, but I didn't know how to reach out, especially after losing my house. But I'm glad I finally found you." "Yeah, me too," my husband replied. I think my husband was genuinely happy to see his mother again. But the fact remains, she abandoned him when he needed her the most. To me, she's nothing but an irresponsible mother. If she was really being chased by debt collectors, how could she leave her home, abandoning both her child and her own mother? If something that terrible had happened, Luis wouldn't have forgotten it. It just doesn't add up. The image that comes to mind is of my mother-in-law running off after some man, leaving her child behind. I picture her with dyed blonde hair, wearing a miniskirt that's inappropriate for her age, and a low-cut top. Her voice, rough and slurred, sounds like she's been drinking heavily for years. But I know I shouldn't judge someone based on their appearance. Luis is so happy to see her, and I should be happy for him. If he's glad to have her back in his life, that's what matters. Kept reminding myself of that. It was nice seeing you today. Hope we can meet again soon. I'm sure we will. Thank you, but I'm not sure if I can come back. Why not? I don't have a place to stay right now. Oh, I see. Luis glanced at me and I felt a pang of discomfort. I had told myself not to react this way, but wasn't it a bit inappropriate to reveal such personal details? You can't just show up out of the blue and drop this on your son. If you truly care about your children, you wouldn't add this kind of burden to their lives. I suppose common sense doesn't apply to someone who has disappeared and reappeared like this. Luis's eyes had that pleading, let her stay with us look. I wasn't thrilled about it, but there was no concrete evidence that she intended to manipulate the situation. Maybe I'm overthinking things. I decided to help her. I exchanged a glance with Luis, signaling my agreement. "Mom, you can come live with us." "Really? Thank you." Wow, that was a quick thank you. Do you even know how to fake gratitude? Her reaction seemed increasingly suspicious. "Thank you so much. From now on, we'll be living together." It seemed like she moved in without showing any remorse. Since her arrival, Luis had been visibly distressed but was trying his best to care for his mother with patience. I wanted to believe she wasn't a threat, so I approached her with an open heart, thinking Luis might be trying to make up for something he missed out on during his childhood. But within 2 weeks, her true colors began to emerge. It happened when Luis went out shopping and I was working a late shift. For the first time, we were alone together. So, you're a tax accountant? Her tone was suddenly sharp and calculating. Yes, I am. You must have a lot of money saved up. I could already tell this conversation was going to be uncomfortable. You speak so differently when Louis isn't around. He loves me, and he won't believe anything you say about me. Anyway, you're earning money, right? I could use a loan. I'd rather not. Oh, come on. People who make money like you should help those in need. It's just how the economy works. I've never heard of that theory. Figures. Young people today don't understand anything about the real world. Just give me the money. I'm not going to do that. From then on, whenever it was just the two of us, our conversations always went the same way. Luis's mother seemed to have planned this perfectly. I couldn't bring myself to tell Luis about it. He often spoke about his mother in front of me, and I knew that if I shared what was happening, it would only lead to a confrontation. I tried to be patient, but my tolerance wore thin after a month. Just as I was considering asking her to leave, she surprised me by announcing that she was moving out. It was a relief beyond my wildest hopes. Mom, are you really leaving? Yes, I can't keep imposing on you and Kelly forever. We're not that kind of people. You can stay with us as long as you need. Us? Forget the pretense. I'm actually relieved to see you go. Thanks. I found a new apartment. They told me I don't even need a guarantor there, so I won't be a burden on you anymore. Great. Come on, I'll show you. It's just a 5-minute walk from here. Luis followed his mother with a look of concern. From that moment on, I began to lose trust in him. Ever since his mother arrived, I felt neglected, and my affection for Luis, who seemed to prioritize his mother's wishes above all else, was starting to wane. When we arrived at the apartment, we were shocked. It was an incredibly rundown place, rumored to be haunted in the area. Luis looked at his mother with tears in his eyes. Mom, let's go back home. It's fine. I'll stay here. Just visit me when you can. His mother moved out the next day, but it became clear that it was all part of her plan. Luis had fallen right into her trap. Hey Kelly, could you help my mother out a bit? Why should I? Didn't you see that apartment? Don't you feel sorry for her? It was all part of his mother's scheme to get money from us. I wasn't about to fall for it. Luis was completely unaware of this manipulative tactic. I'm not giving any money to your mother. Why not? Because she's rented an apartment, which means she must have some money. She's going out, so she must be earning something. She doesn't have a job. She's just volunteering at a nursing home during the day. Volunteering? That's a lie. I can't believe she's really a volunteer. I can't even entertain the idea. What's your point? Nothing really. I just don't intend to pay for it. Luis looked at me with a cold expression. Kelly, as long as you're satisfied, that's all that matters to you, isn't it? What are you implying? You make a lot more money than I do, and you expect me to just go along with whatever you say. What are you talking about? When did I ever say that? It's in your attitude. Mom even said so. She thinks Kelly is a bit intimidating. I'm sure she left because of you. I felt tears welling up. What did he see in me all this time? You're blaming me for everything without understanding what I've been through. You don't even know your own mother. Have you ever really considered what I've been dealing with since she showed up? Don't try to turn this around on me. After that heated argument, our relationship fell apart. We didn't speak for several days, but then I got a call from Luis. I answered to find out what was happening. You're at work, right? Yeah. I'm really sorry, but I need you to visit my mother. Why? She hurt her leg and is having a hard time. It would mean a lot to her if you could be there. I can't leave the store today because I have a vendor coming in, so your presence would be a huge help, Kelly. All right, I'll come by after work. I sighed deeply after hanging up. Despite the growing distance between us, Luis always reached out when it involved his mother. I felt increasingly empty inside. I pulled the divorce papers from the drawer and stared at them. I realized it was time to put an end to this. After work, I made my way to the rundown apartment. "You're late." My mother-in-law had her leg bandaged. "How are you feeling now?" "Not great." "That's why you're here. Hurry up and make me some tea." She merely issued the command and sank onto the sofa, limping. With reluctance, I went to the cupboard to prepare a cup of tea. "Why is there a passbook here?" The passbook was tucked away at the back of the cupboard. I glanced at my mother-in-law, who was absorbed in watching TV. Carefully, I retrieved the passbook and reviewed its contents. "Oh no," I couldn't help but exclaim. "Be quiet, I can't hear the TV." "How long does it take to make a cup of matcha?" It seemed she hadn't noticed. She continued grumbling while glued to the screen. As I looked around, I noticed her impressive collection of teacups and dishes. Everything started to make sense. "Here's your tea. I'm heading home now." "What are you talking about? What about dinner? Why don't you order it yourself?" "Then you're paying for it." "I don't think I should. You have plenty of money, Mother." Seeing the passbook in my hand, my mother-in-law sprang up. "That's mine. Don't you dare keep it from me." She was about 5'5", while I'm 5'10", so there was no way she could reach the passbook I held high as I headed for the front door. She charged at me with surprising force. "Oh, I thought you hurt your leg. You were limping just a moment ago. Just give it back to me." I left her apartment, and when I returned home, Louis was there to greet me. "Thank you for helping out. My mom must have been in a lot of pain." "No, she was perfectly fine." "That can't be right. She must have been feeling down." "So, did you end up giving her the money?" It seemed he hadn't heard from his mother. "What money? You didn't give me any money." "Don't you feel any compassion for her? She's in desperate need of money, and I thought you'd help out." "So you think I should be the one to give her the money?" Louis let out a frustrated sigh. "All right, just transfer the money then." "What? You should deposit it into her account. You know she's struggling. Didn't you give her most of your salary already?" "I don't think it's necessary. You're so cold." "I thought seeing my mother's situation would make you understand. I've spent so much time worrying about this." "What exactly have you been thinking about? Do you really believe your mother's just pretending to be weak because you're not being nice? This is the only way she knows how." "I don't even know what to say anymore," I said, throwing the passbook at Louis. "Take a look at this. Do you still think she's poor? Wake up." "What do you mean? Why does she have $70 million? I don't understand." "She's wealthy, but still trying to get money from us. She left you alone when you needed her, suddenly reappears wanting to live with us, and now she's asking for money from both you and me. She's been asking me for money whenever you're not around. What makes you think she deserves any protection? She's nothing but a hustler. If you want to keep supporting her, that's your choice, but I'm done. I want a divorce. I'm fed up. You still don't believe me. Instead, you're siding with her and trying to make me the bad guy. You and your mother are the same, living in a rundown place and trying to get money from me. You're just like her." I probably forgot to mention some things I wanted to say, but that's okay. I couldn't understand how my husband could have so much faith in his mother. He had been waiting for her for so long, and I couldn't bring myself to tell him that he was being used and unloved. After that, Louis and I got divorced. I didn't seek alimony. Consider it my final act of mercy after his mother had taken advantage of him. We also agreed to keep our savings separate and not divide our shared property. A month later, Louis showed up outside my office. I told him to get to the point, so he told me something astonishing. My mother-in-law had been arrested for theft and fraud. She had been exploiting elderly people at the nursing home where she volunteered, asking them for their PIN numbers and passbooks. Their families had reported her to the police. She's now in jail, and I later learned that she had been arrested again for additional crimes. Thankfully, the money she tried to extort from Lewis was returned to the victims. Lewis apologized and then left, disappearing from my life for good. Watching him walk away was incredibly sad. So ended my brief marriage, but I'm relieved it's over. The darkness I saw in Lewis was more than I could handle. I hope to find someone I can genuinely connect with someday, though right now, I think I'm done with marriage. For now, I'm more focused on pursuing my career. I plan to work hard and perhaps open my own office one day. That's my new goal. The obsession with money that his mother had and how Lewis dealt with it was heartbreaking. It's clear that parents play a huge role in shaping their children's character. Lewis was undoubtedly a victim of his mother's influence. I wish him and Kelly a bright future. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next one.